Welcome to the talk show where men unite, having conversations that inspire, ignite. From relationships to wellness, we cover it all. In this positive space, we're standing tall. We're the men of the talk show, spreading good vibes.
All right, we have another guest. We're going to continue to bring on guests until the end of the season. We are so grateful to have all of our audience members watching and supporting us and telling us how much they love the show. So continue to keep that passion. But without further ado, let's welcome Breylon Jones on the show. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm blessed and grateful to be here, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be on your platform today, man. So I'm excited. Sure.
I'm excited too. It's always good to get different perspectives of all man walks of life, because when you've been doing this for 3 years, you see so much from divorce, men that's going through divorce, men that's suicidal, men that's got ADHD, and I can go on and on and on, but it's just good to get different perspectives to see how some other men maybe have overcame their mental health challenges or how they're doing right now. So what challenges did you have to face when you maybe growing up that you would like to speak on?
I got you, man. So then, growing up, some mental health challenges I had, just first and foremost, honestly, I'll say identity crisis. Growing up, I played hockey, right? So it is still a predominantly white sport, right? So before I attended South Carolina State University, I had no idea of how to tag what I was going through. Now I understand what I was going through was code switching, I guess you could call it. So that played with me. I'll be with my family. I say, for example, when I be with my family, I would say ma, right? But when I be with my hockey teammates, I say mom, right?
Yeah.
Mother would, I'm not gonna say pick at it, but she would bring it to my attention, and I couldn't understand why I was doing those things and those type things, switching. That was something that I dealt with, and honestly still deal with sometimes today. After therapy and just becoming more comfortable and confident in myself, I'm able to be Breylon Keith Jones in every room I step in, bro. You kind of was tagged as a young man that had a bad attitude. Again, since going to therapy and under myself, man, I've come to realize I didn't have a bad attitude. I just was misunderstood, and people did not know how to truly communicate to and with me, right? With that being said, that's one of the drivers for the reason myself, Andre Sullivan, and Justice Cox started Young Brothers Academy, which is a mentor program here in the upstate of Greenville, South Carolina. We started for young men here to give them a safe space to come and be who they are and be comfortable in who they are and be confident in who they are. And you've been rewarding. I won't say that I had, mental health issues. I'm surrounded by love, and I still am surrounded by love growing up. I had a lot of men around me, our grandfather, my and men in our church. So I can't sit here and say that I wasn't surrounded by great men, because I was. But at this point in my life, at 32, it is my turn and my time and opportunity to be that great man surrounding younger men that may be going through some of the things that I went through coming in, and more, just the way that the world is today. It's a beast, and people are trying to figure out how to navigate that and just life itself, right? And so I'm very grateful to be somebody, a trusted leader, a trusted adult that these young men that we serve in Young Brothers Academy, I'm grateful to be somebody that they can lean on and lean to when they have these different issues and problems and they need to try to figure out what's going on in their world. I'm grateful to be somebody that they can lean on to find those answers.
And that's wonderful, brother. That's good that you had that good support system growing up.
Sure.
Because not the norm for most Black men. Speaking, there's so many men that don't grow up I mean, many young boys that don't grow up with fathers.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
one of them.
I
You
got
know, then the father,
you.
just wears on you at times because you see, that can have on a young man,
Mhm.
that guidance. They need that, let them know how to grow up.
Yeah.
Good that you have that support system. So talk a little bit about like with your father. Did you guys always see eye to eye? Did he kind of your mother put a roof over your head, or how was that dynamic like?
Yeah, man. So my parents, man, they have been married now. What am I? I'm 32, so my parents have been married. I think at this point they have been married for, I think they're at 36 or 37 years of marriage.
It's not the norm.
Yeah, it's not the norm, right? It's not. But watch this. It's not the norm. It's not. But when I was younger, I thought it was. Right? I
Mhm.
thought everybody. And again, I was raised in the church. You know what I mean? I was a church boy. I still am a church. I'm a church man at this point. You know what I mean? But I was raised in the church, so I seen a bunch of strong men. So it wasn't really until I'll say like middle school and high school, I kind of see that having a father, definitely as a black man, wasn't as normal. But when I got to college, that's when and sitting down and having conversation with other men, it let me realize how blessed I was to have the father that I have. You feel me?
Mhm.
But my dad, man, he's an example. You feel me? He's not he a teacher as far as communication wise. He's more of a teacher as example, meaning
Mhm.
we
Yeah.
waking up at 5 a.m., getting off at 6, 7 p.m., coming and picking me up from hockey or basketball practice. Right? So watching my father be a man, I kind of, who we were supposed to be and how we were supposed to grow. Honestly, growing up, I would tell myself, man, if me and my dad were the same age, we wouldn't be friends. But 32, I realized now my dad was and probably still is one of my best friends to this day. You feel me? Because he showed me how to be a man. He showed me what it meant to take care of your family, take care of your community, and be a positive influence. It's very. I've met any I met or have met somebody that knows my father, it's always been fruitful. It's been grateful, and they make something great to say about my dad, right? And he's just an exemplary man, bro. He's the man's man. He don't club, he don't drink, he don't smoke. He takes care of my mother. He takes care of us, and now we have more conversation than we did when I was younger. Honestly, me realizing now my dad is a well of knowledge, and I wish I'm not gonna say I regret. I just wish when I was younger I would have been more grateful then. But I
Mhm.
feel like now I am grateful for the things that he showed me. He showed me hard work. He showed me dedication. He showed me how to wake up and be your best self, bro. My dad every day he wakes up and he even to this day, bro, he's his best self, man. Like he is, bro. One thing my dad used to say, getting in the car to me and my sister, when he dropped us off at school, before we got out the car, he would say, always do your best, never lie, cheat, or steal. The more you
Mhm.
know, you go, right? Those words, when I was younger, I'm thinking, oh, it's just a saying, right? It's just something my dad said, right?
Mhm.
But now at 32, bro, that's a real saying. Always do your best, meaning any and every time you step into a room, anywhere you go, be your best self. Never
Mhm.
lie, cheat, or steal, bro. Be honest, be honorable, be somebody, be a man of integrity, man of respect. The more you know, the go, bro. The
Mhm.
more you know, the more you feed your brain, bro. The further you go. My father, he didn't go to college. He's not a college educated man, right?
Mhm.
But he always pushed education. One thing my father always pushed to me was education. He always knew the importance of education, educating yourself. Very street smart, even street smart to this day, right? But
Yeah.
he understood the education, how important it was to go to college, bro. That was, if I could speak for him, that's probably one of his biggest goals for me to go to college and complete it, right? And
Mhm.
and to have done so and to see the benefits that I have been able to receive and achieve from that, it just eye opening, right? Because he didn't do it himself, but he knew his son needed it. So you always
Mhm.
growing up. My father, he was real supportive. He's still supportive to this day. My mother too. I'm not. My mother's great, but we're talking about my dad here. So just want to say,
Yeah.
want to put that out there. But my father always said to me growing up was, son, you're going to be a great husband and father. You're going to be a great husband and father.
Speaking to existence. That's
Bro,
what we
listen. Let's be in it today, bro. And again, we're learning, we're always getting better. But if you had to ask my wife or ask my children if I'm a good husband and father, I like to think they would say yes, right?
Mhm.
But I've been so many things. I've been in so many other avenues of life. But that's one thing my father always spoke to. Son, you're going to be a great husband and father. Like from as long as I can remember, I didn't understand it then, but I understand now because he knew one day that was going to be the most important thing, to be a great husband and father. You know what I'm saying? To provide and preach and take care of my family was going to be what was most important, because that's what's most important now, bro. And he was a very silent leader. He'd speak much, but when he spoke, it was about something. You know, if my mom had to call my dad in to discipline me, it wasn't no talking at that point. Because if he got to come in, it's over.
Mm.
It was to that
You
point.
want the hardcore dead. I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was hardcore. He just wasn't about no nonsense, bro. Like, don't be like looking. He was kind of, and he molded me correctly on how to be a man and deal with people, even females, right? He always say, son, like when your mama say do so, just do it. Get it done. Get it out the
Mhm.
way, right? Me being hard headed, man, I do it when I want to do it, bro. Whatever I do, I ain't doing it, bro. And that got me in a lot of trouble with my mom,
Mhm.
like my parents. But now, as a husband and father, when my wife be like, hey, I need such and such done, I understand. Now, let me stop whatever I'm doing and get this done. Because if mama not happy, nobody happy.
That's
And,
true.
and he was trying to teach me that then, but still teaching me now, bro. But he was still is, bro. He's just an example, bro, of how to be a man, bro. And I'm grateful for it now. I told him, bro, and it's funny we're having this conversation, it's crazy. But I told him, I think we had just had my first child, my daughter, and we were just sitting down, and I was like, bro, like, Pop, man, I'm sorry, man. I feel like I was an ungrateful child. All right, no, you weren't ungrateful. You were just a child. You didn't know.
Yeah, that's true.
You ain't know no better. But now, again, since I've grown up, now I understand. Okay, this is how a man's supposed to walk. And again, I learned these things from my father. I took all the good things and some of the bad things, and I learned from them and to elevate them. If I would have to put it into a picture wise, he knew it then. His is my floor, right? But my son's floor will be my ceiling. If that makes sense.
Mm. That's deep.
But it's real because that's how it's supposed to be, bro. If you have
Mm.
children, bro, and I'm gonna say this gracefully, bro, to any man out there with definitely sons, bro. Your sons need you, bro. They need
Mm.
you. They yearn for that.
Ain't that the truth?
I have family members. I have young men in my program that are great young men. They're great. They're amazing. But that of not having a father be there. You know what I mean? And avoid only their father can feel. And no matter if they have mentors, no matter if they have great men around them, there will always be a void. So to any man out there with children, bro, understand your child needs you, but definitely if you have a son, he needs you. He needs to look at you and see, okay, like father, I knew growing up, and this I hope you understand what I mean when I say this. I knew the worst I could do is be like my dad. You know what I mean? The worst I could do. But my dad was so great and is so great that it wouldn't be bad to be like my father. But I want to be better, right? You're supposed to get better every generation. So I want my son to look at me and be like, bro, the worst I could do is be like my dad. That's the worst thing I could do. But knowing that he understands that he has to be better than me, because if he's worse than me, I fail. You feel me? I'm not feeling. We don't do that around here. We might fall, but we gonna succeed. You feel me? So it's just a blessing, bro. And I realize it, and I'm grateful for it now. And to have my own son, to be able to guide him and prepare him is it's a blessing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
right there. I'm sorry, bro.
it's okay. You're a guest, so you can talk as much as you want. Take
But
some of the pressure off of me. But just beautiful to hear that a man that's successful growing up with his father and instilling goodness in him. Because you obviously hear about the statistics of black men ending up in jail,
Yeah.
and they don't have any direction in their life, and very sympathetic. Up in the hood, single mom, struggling to take care of us. Um, it's he was able to grow up in a healthy environment, because not most black young guys do not have that experience. And I
Right
have
on.
a lot of people that DM me on a regular basis and telling me about their experiences, childhood trauma, things
Mhm.
to that nature. And it just my heart that so many black men do that to their sons, or abuse them, or even worse, rape them. You know what I mean? Those are just really bad examples, other black men's experiences.
Yeah.
But also good fathers out here,
Yeah.
like you mentioned. It's also good fathers, but I think it's generational.
Mhm.
Somebody has to break the cycle, like you were saying, that I'm going to do better than what my father was. Even if he was a good person, I'm going to even triple to do better than.
Exactly.
And what's some of the parenting that maybe he taught you that maybe you passed on, or that you didn't pass on to your own child?
Man, so one of the parenting techniques that my father, my parents, again, mom, I love you. You're amazing, but we're talking about that here, right? Because I just gotta say that because again,
Everybody has a favorite parent. It's okay.
and listen, you gotta eat your mama flowers too. But just talking about my dad, bro. One thing that he that I strive to do was be exemplary, bro. He wasn't like with him. We had conversation, but we didn't have a lot of conversation. Again, like I said, he would just do, and I would see him do. You know what I'm saying? And be like, okay. So I'm supposed to examples. I'm supposed to open the door for my mom or for my lady. I'm supposed to open the door for my lady. I'm supposed to protect my lady. Those days I don't feel like going to work. Those days I'm still supposed to go to work, right? Small things like that, right? But some things that he didn't do that I plan to do with my son. My son, he's only a year old right now. He's only one. But some things that my father did not do that I do plan to do more with my son is explain. You feel me? Like, listen, we have a situation. Okay, here we go. I'm in one situation. We've never talked about this crazy, and I'm thinking then my mind goes here. But one situation we had a road rage situation to do. I think he like cut off or something and pulled over. My dad was yelling at my dad, and it got kind of never talked about it. It just kind of my is if something like that does happen in front of my son, I want to sit down. Hey, bro, what did you just see? What understanding of what happened? And let's talk through that situation. Cause again, knowing my dad, he knew I ain't gonna say he knew he was wrong. He knew he could have handled that situation differently because of who was all in the car. Because I remember he just got real quiet after that. After that, he didn't say anything on the ride for real. He just got quiet. That's all I remember. But I knew he knew. Like, I knew now. I know he knew. Dang, bro, I shouldn't have did that in front of them. But again, he got caught up in that moment. So I to break down more moments to my son. You feel me? Because we learn by seeing and hearing. You feel me? So do have conversation when we watch movies, when we listen to music, when we do different things. I to have more verbal conversation and as well as just do in front of him so he sees how things are supposed to do. But also, I'm gonna explain more. You feel me? But again, that's no knock to my father because again, he did the best and still doing the best he can. You feel me? But my goal is to explain more so he can get it faster versus finding his own understanding like I did. And again, as a kid, I didn't ask a lot of questions, bro. I wasn't a question asker. I'm not whatever. It just happened. But I feel if I would have asked the question, he would have explained it. But I didn't ask a lot of questions. Now, understanding that my son may not ask me questions, I sometimes need to sit down and break down situations so he understands how to move as a man. Because it will become a time where I'm not going to be there to break down the situation, and so he has to find out how to do it on his own. But one thing my dad did that I seen that I was the grind of being a man, bro. Husband. You know, what's happened to my family, like we lose the house, nobody would ask my wife what happened. They would ask me what happened, right? And so watching my dad every day, Monday through Friday, wake up, drive a truck every day. And then on the weekends, he would sell things at the jockey lot. We sold jeans, we sold polos, jerseys, model cars, hair grease. We sold everything except drugs. We sold everything except drugs. You feel me?
Yeah.
But just having the entrepreneurial spirit, having the hustler spirit to know that, yeah, my time job is good, but I want my children to have everything that they deserve, and some things that they don't. You feel me? My dad, my parents gave me everything. We had everything we needed, and a lot of things that we wanted. You feel me? And I honestly feel like I wasn't a bad kid, but I was mischievous. You feel me? I could have been a little bit better behaved. I would have had more trinkets and stuff like that. But again, anything needed, we had it, bro. One thing I always said, but definitely my father, my mom, she real educated. She's a nurse practitioner now, but at the time she was a nurse instructor, so she's real big on education. But you know, it always tells me like when I get a bad grade in class, she's like, "Hey, I can't help you. I can help you, but I can get help. I can find somebody that can help you, but you got to talk to me. You got to communicate with me. Tell me you need the help." And so I plan to do those same things with my son. You feel me?
Yeah, remember this parenting. Do as I say. Don't talk to me, boy. You know, that. And I feel like, you know, slowly, you know, things that maybe wasn't all bad, but they kind of into their own.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like some things we'll take from our fathers and implement it into the children, and then some things we just like, oh no, we ain't doing that with our children.
Right.
And I think that's a good, healthy thing instead of just taking everything on, you know, anything to your children. And then they grow up in this trauma cycle, like, well, I'm going to speak up because my voice is not valuable. You know what I mean? Because that is an issue. Like, some really instill into their child saying, do as I say, don't talk back, boy. I'm going to whoop your ass, you know, that.
Yeah.
And don't rarely explain why they're doing what they're doing. So it kind of hurts them when they grow up as a man and they thinking that, why should I even voice my opinion? It don't matter. You know what I mean? So that's good that you have a different technique. That's good.
It is, and again, I'm not gonna say he was a don't talk back type of dude. My parents were the, hey, bro, do it. It was all. I was a why guy. Like, why? Why? I said so, right? And my say that, and again, now understanding that, bro, in the moment they doing the best they can. But for me, because I said so, wasn't a good enough answer. And so now, again, to have a conversation of, well, why? Okay, why? Because you need to look both ways across the street because a car could come and you need to protect yourself. Okay, then. Okay, I'm gonna do it now. And again, bro, it's elevation. Again, my has to be my father. Ceiling has to be my floor. My son's has to be my son's floor. We have to get better every generation. As African Americans, bro, we're still behind. Let's not 400 years ago ain't that long. You feel me? It's not that long ago. So we're still fighting those mentalities instilled in us, and we don't even know where they came from, right? So hopefully my prayer is that I've been my father and my son will be better than me. And his son will be better than him, so on and so forth. And we're gonna keep going and be better. Because that's what it is, bro. Like we gotta be better. Like I said, we still fighting things that we don't even know why we do these things. These are mentalities that were placed in us that we don't even know. But again, when we're educated, when we do know, when you know better, you do better. And again, not saying my parents did wrong. My parents did the best they could. They did everything in their power, everything they knew to do. Bet you did the best you can. I'm gonna take what you learned. I'm gonna take what you gave me. I'm gonna take what you taught me. I'm gonna take what you showed me and do better. And then my son, he gonna take what I teach him, take what I taught him, and do better than me. And by the time I got grandkids and great grandkids, I'll be able to say their life is better because my son made better than I did. Like that's what my father always, even to this day, bro. He got to be better than me. He would tell me that you got to be better than me. You got to be better. Like, man, what does that mean? What do you mean? And now I understand you have to be better than him because if not, then everything he taught me was for naught.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get real passionate when I talk about my dad, man.
That's good. Like
Yeah, man.
I get a lot of black men that like to talk. I
Yeah,
don't get
man.
that.
I have a
Only my couple of friends, like two, that love to
yeah,
talk, and the rest is like quiet up. You
man.
know.
I got a broadcast background, man. And again, they're like my father, bro. He can do the same. He just didn't go to
Mhm.
school for it. You feel me? Like he didn't go to like everything that I do. My father could do it. He just didn't have the education or the paper to say he can do it, but he can do it. He'll
Mhm.
talk. He has a gift of gab. If you meet my father, bro, you be, oh yeah, that's. But
Mhm.
again, bro, I'm just him. But I'm supposed to be. I say humbly because he made me this way. He knew, but my son's gonna be better than me. But I know my son's gonna be better than me.
And that's a good thing. That's
Yeah,
really a good thing to admire about yourself because it is a lot of black men that's incarcerated, that's not doing good for their kids. And you want to be that exemplary example of what not to do and teach them the guidance so they can grow up, have loving wives. You know, there's a
yeah,
lot of toxicity in relationships I notice nowadays that carry over from their parents or what
yeah,
they observed growing up. So if
yeah.
the man put his hands on the woman, then that's going to trickle down to the boy going into a relationship, putting his hands on women. So it's all these toxic traits that I see that if men have good exemplary fathers growing up to look up to, maybe things will be better in their own life and they wouldn't be going through child support and all of this stuff that the typical black man goes through.
Yeah, yeah,
And I say that that's all their fault on their own, but
yeah.
it's the majority that a lot of black men don't say that.
Yeah.
Like, I raised him because
Yeah.
I just wanted to go out and party. I want to do all these things that wasn't conducive to the family household.
And because a lot of black, again, like you said at the top, bro, a lot of black men, they didn't have what I had, right? But that's why I started Young Brothers Academy because I have friends again who did. My best friend is one of my brothers, Justice Cox. He didn't have his biological father in his life, but his mother made sure he was surrounded around good men. You feel me? So maybe you might not have it again. So a lot of the young brothers in our program and Young Brothers Academy, they don't have fathers. Their father is absent, right? But our goal, our mindset is if we can be who we needed when we were younger, maybe we will help instill greatness in these young men. You know, us with our children, with our wives being good men, get good husbands, good fathers, they will understand, okay, my dad might not be here, but this guy, he's a good man. This is kind of supposed to move, right? One thing I do intentionally, I take my son, but I take him to the meetings with me. He can't. I really take him with me to so young men can see. Nah, if you have a son, if you have a child, you're supposed to take care of them to the best of your ability. I have him there with me. Yeah, my son, he in his pack and play right hand and back. He start crying. I'm gonna get him his bottle. I'm gonna take care of him, so they can be like, oh, that's how a father's supposed to move. Oh, that's how a husband's supposed to. So even if their father's not there, you don't have the excuse of I ain't never seen a good man. You can't go and be like, I ain't never seen a good man. Because hopefully I'm an example of a good man. I'm not amazing. I ain't Jesus. You feel me? I'm not
Don't
him.
ever downplay yourself, brother.
But no, I said it humbly, you feel me? Because I know I'm great, you feel me? But I also know that greatness, one, comes from God. Two, it comes from the examples I had around me, bro. My parent, again, my father was and is a good man. My uncles are great men. My grandfather, he was a great man. You feel me? And the men that surrounded me in my church, great men, my deacons, my pastors. I was surrounded by great men. So I would be ignorant if I said I got here alone. I got here because I was surrounded by great men. And again, at this point in my life and moving forward, my goal is to be one, a man of God, an exemplary man of God that young men can see and be like, I want to be similar to that. Because if they're similar to me, that means they're going to understand the greatness of God. They're going to understand the greatness of being a great husband, a great father. And then they'll understand, okay, let me get my word. Let me learn. Let me put my best foot forward. And the only way they can see that is if I wake up every day and put my best foot forward. Like they don't understand, like the in our program, they don't understand how much they do for us. Like, because I know, bro, I know they're watching everything we do. You feel me? And so that's why sometimes I might not do things because I know, man, if it was here, or if Javarian was here, if Brighton was here, if was here, would I do this in front of them? No, so I don't need to do it because they gonna see. They not blind, they not stupid. They see how you move. So you gotta show them the right way because they gonna move how you move. And so that's they need to be better, bro, every day. And it's what it is, bro. I made a point in my life, man, where I understand how blessed I have been and how blessed I am. And it's a blessing to be able to walk and be who I am, but it's also I say a burden, but
And I got 2 more questions here
I,
too. This is good, really good conversation. You relax and you being yourself, and that's what other men will be able to resonate with that. That's
yeah, man,
important.
for sure.
I don't want to never feel like, asking a whole bunch of questions
Mm-hmm.
and it's stale. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
organic. That's the most important thing.
yes, sir.
So you get like investments, or do you just do things like our own funds? How did that get started?
So, all right, Young Academy. I'm gonna try to put this as quickly as I can, but again, this is it's work, bro. It's blessed work, man.
Yeah.
So just doing anything, nobody's leading the youth, right? Nobody's helping the youth. And we got tired of people saying that because it's like, bro, if you don't complain, do something, dog. Like, what you going to do? So we all, because it's funny, I had them both on my show like a week ago. They had Justice was a teacher. He was an elementary school teacher, and Andre, he was both. He's an author and an artist. But Andre had just wrote a book, right? Now watch how I got where Andre had just wrote a book. Andre went and talked about his book to Justice's class. When talking about, man, we gotta do something for the youth. During that time, like 2 weeks between, I had them both on my program, and we all text each other. We met at a popular spot in Greenville called Zen. Zen met on the roof, and we started writing down what we wanted to do. Man, we had an idea, a prayer, a logo, and then people. Shout out to Robertson family, the bridge. Shout out to them. They that we talking right now, Mama. Okay. Okay. But yeah, so baby, I'm talking. Second, okay? Okay.
Like,
yeah, which idea we had to the community, and we had our gay little people, young men to us. We had our first annual honoring the 7 years strong, 8 years strong, I'm sorry. And honestly, we've gotten because of the community. Everything that we have, these shirts, the trips that we've young men on, the people that have and poured young the pizza we ate has all come from the community, man. Our community has really been behind us, man. We have to this point, we have not received any big grants. We haven't really received any grants to this point. But it's just been work, bro. The community has really been to our program and believed in our program. And it's just been
my other podcast that I have.
And we watched a bunch of our young graduate go to the next level. Some went on to work, some went to school, but they've all been citizens in our community. That's our goal, to create young, be productive citizens in the community. And we've been able to do that. And again, like I said, to this point, we haven't had any big grants. We haven't had any here. It's we have 3 E's: education, empowerment, and exposure. Those are our pillars. Those are the things that we stand on. We feel like with those 3 things, any young man, really any person, can be great in their community. If you want to learn more about Young Brothers Academy, you want to learn how you can help and support, be a sponsor,
coming on here. It's been a blessing talking to you, brother. Yeah. I can feel you have a good vibe spirit.
Man, thank you.
I can feel that energy through even more as we've been talking. But I wish you did this Monday coming up on my YouTube channel. It'll probably be back-to-back episodes because I got some other interviews that I'm doing too. So, but I do thank you for coming on here. If you ever want to come, make sure that you send me about your business, and if you have anything else that's going on, just send them out.
Learn more. Want to come pour into these young men? Please reach out to us. We accept any. We be supported by the community, and it's a blessing to do that.
Yeah.
So
And that's a wrap. I think we're on here. It's been
what's up?